It seems like we were just talking about MSG. That's
Yeah.
already over. Now we're ahead, talking about this weekend's UFC at the Apex. Let's welcome to the program Chad Anheliger. Chad, how are you?
Hey guys, I'm awesome, man. I'm doing great. Ready for the big fights this weekend.
We appreciate your time, and I ask this all the time. And you know, it's fight week. It's Wednesday. That's when we get to do these interviews. What's fight week like for you? And do you keep it all the same, consistent? Do you try to mix it up a little bit? How do you handle this week?
Yeah, I've had a lot of fights and a lot of experience. So fight week, I keep pretty similar. I'm always improving it, but I got it pretty dialed in. So for me, it's just about taking it easy on my body, getting good rest, eating clean food, making sure my body's ready for the weight cut. But I still fit in at least one, maybe even two little workouts a day, right until the weight cut day. Because I like to still keep my body sharp and, you know, not let it get too relaxed. I still got a job to do Saturday, so
Sure.
I try not to get too out of fight mode.
Do you try not to think about 3.5 days from now, you know, when it's time to get to business? Or do you try, you know, to concentrate, you know, and continue to have Jose's name or, you know, old Rocky Balboa photo on the mirror? Or, you know, which way is it, or is it both?
Yeah, there's a balance that everybody's trying to find and achieve. It's never that easy, but it's something that you want to be able to turn on and off. That's the best skill to have. So during the day, I'm not really thinking about them. I'm not thinking about the fight. I'm just thinking about myself, my own body. And then when we do our little workouts, that's where I try to turn it on. Game plan, picture my opponent, and then when it's done, I turn it back off. That, to me, is the best, you know, recipe for fight week, but everybody has their own styles. But for me, I don't want to be burnt out thinking about one guy all week long. I'm going to have plenty of time to deal with him on Saturday, so I don't need him all week.
For sure. I know you just opened up your gym. How has that changed, you know, your daily life? You know, obviously your main profession is fighting, but now your main profession is running the gym as well. Could that be a distraction? And as well as, is that good to have more than one thing to devote 100% to?
Oh, it's definitely a good thing. You know, I've been around for a long time, and in my experience, when fighting is your only option, it adds pressure to an already very high pressure job. So when you can kind of spread yourself out and have more opportunities and things elsewhere to support yourself, I find it makes this job more why we got into it. It's fun, and we like to fight. Making money and all that is a great part of it, but my whole life isn't hinging on it. Which really takes a lot of the pressure off and allows me to fight better. So my gym has been a huge, you know, support for my life, but also it gives me a lot of motivation going into this fight too, because I got my own students, I got people looking up to me, and I really want to go out there and show them that they got a pretty awesome coach. So it gives me a lot of motivation. But
is it possible now that you have all of that, and you just said you have students, you have, you know, that are looking up to you, more pressure on you now to go out and perform? Not that you need that pressure.
I mean, maybe I wouldn't call it pressure though. I'd call it motivation. I want to do well for them, but you know, these are my friends, family, fans. They already, you know, are on my side, so I don't have to win them over. I just want to go out there and fight well, and I want to get a win. I want to get a victory for them, but it's not like our relationship hangs in the balance. You know, I wouldn't call it pressure. I'd call it motivation.
If your friendship or whatever is on the balance, then, as you know, then they're not friends anyway. So, I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody has that much power over me, so I'm just doing what I want to do, and the people that are along the journey, I want to give them something to cheer about on Saturday.
So Chad, you know, Alex won the belt on Saturday night. He talked about taking it to Brazil. Tom won the belt on Saturday night, talked about taking it back to the UK. With 297 being so close in Toronto, does it matter where you fight, or like what do you wish you could have held off and done it in your home country? Is that something that's important to you, or do you just want to fight when an opportunity presents itself?
You know, it's not that important to me where. I mean, especially for Vegas, it's actually, Vegas is closer for me than Toronto is. Like, it's a shorter flight. You know, everything's actually easy here in Vegas for me. So it feels like a bit of a hometown fight already. But I don't really care where I fight. But one thing that is important to me is when you think Canada and you think UFC, I want you to also think Chad Anheliger. So I want to go out there and put, no doubt that when the UFC is coming to Canada, they need to have me front of mind. So I'm going to go out there and put on a great performance so that they just cannot ignore me. If they ever go to Canada, not having me would just make no sense for them.
Good stuff. Are you a fan of other sports, or what are some hobbies? Let's let the fans, if they don't already know, get to know a little bit more about Chad.
I guess I would say I'm a pretty typical Canadian. I still love my hockey. My Calgary Flames are my hometown team, so I'm always cheering for them. During the summers, we don't have the best ones in Canada, but we get some. So I like getting outside. I golf, I fish, I hunt, I camp. I'm a pretty outdoor guy when the weather allows it. And then, those are the only places you're really going to catch me. In the gym, maybe on a fishing boat, maybe in a hockey rink, and maybe on a golf course.
So Chad, I know this question is a little bit odd, a little off topic maybe, but
shocking coming from you.
Adam Johnson, former hockey player, was killed in a game over in UK in a professional hockey game. He got slit his neck. There's charges now being brought. So, do you ever think about these kind of things, like being in? Obviously, you're in a protected sport. You're in an octagon. You're in a cage fight. But when the rules are broken or somebody does something that's like that, do you ever think about what could happen outside of the sport?
Yeah, I mean, that was a terrible, terrible tragedy for them. But it does kind of bring something to light where people need to be accountable. It's a game, and there's sport and there's rules, and we sign contracts and things like that. But at the end of the day, nobody can escape accountability for what they do or don't do. Like that one specifically, I don't really have much of a side on it. I don't know enough about the situation, but I do think if somebody is doing something like to hurt somebody and it extends, like it transcends outside the sport, then 100%, man, people need to be accountable for that. That's the world we live in. Nothing can be done for free. So yeah, that was really sad, and it does kind of put a little bit of a light on those type of things in sport. That it's sport, but it's reality. We all have lives and families, and that's important to protect.
No, I agree 100%. Going back to when you said you're a fan of the Calgary Flames, I remember vividly I was in the media room and I was talking to a Canadian media person, and we were talking, and he said how much his wife wanted Calgary to win the Stanley Cup because she's Canadian, and so are the Calgary Flames. And I said, well, you do know that 90% of the Lightning are Canadian as well, right?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, everybody's got their hometown team, but in most cases, if you're watching the NHL, you're cheering for Canadians anyway for a lot of it. So
for sure. Give us your thoughts on Jose, on your opponent.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the fight. It really jumped off the paper when I got the offer because I love exciting fights. I know that's what Jose brings on his side. He's a dynamic striker, lots of finishes. He really goes for it, and I love the physical matchup too. It just brings more eyes and more attention to our fight. He might even be the tallest in the division. I don't know, but he's 6 foot. I'm way down at 5'6", so it's a big difference in height and reach. And those are the type of things people are interested in. They want to see how that fight plays out. So anything that brings more attention to the fight, that's what I want. Whether it's styles, whether it's body types, whatever it is. So this one jumped off the page in a few ways. I think it's going to be an exciting fight. Plus, I think the body differences is kind of a fun add-on
Sure.
for fans. So yeah, man, I love it.
The face-off will really be interesting to watch.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I got to come up with a plan. Maybe I'll, get some lifts in my shoes or something like that. But the face-off might go to him, but the fight's going to go to me.
Final question for you. You fought in the Apex before. Give me your thoughts about the Apex. I personally love watching, whether in person or on TV, because you can hear a little bit better. You can hear different things that you can't hear, especially when you're in the facility. Give me your thoughts on the Apex.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to both.
Sure.
I like I want to use the pros of fighting on the Apex, and that's kind of like there's a little bit of pressure off, a little bit less spectacle. It's more like just a job. You just show up, do your work, and go home. It's similar to what we do in sparring and training. So I actually find it can be a bit easier. But there's also cool things with the big production of the live event too. I mean, you get energy from the crowd. So it's all pros and cons of both. But I've fought in the Apex twice. I won both times, so I'm looking to make it a clean sweep, 3-0.
All right, I tend to do this. I lie. I have one more real quick one for you. It has been a little while since your last fight. You know, a lot of times people say ring rust. It takes time. Does it really? You know, you're still training. You're still, you know, performing in the gym. Is there any concern about the layoff?
Zero concern. Yeah, there's no ring rust because even though I haven't been inside the UFC cage, I've been inside the Champions Creed cage, you know, every day. So I haven't been on the couch. I've been training. I even had planned to fight on the Toronto card in the summer, or sorry, the Vancouver card in the summer, and I did a full training camp because I still kind of expected to get a call last minute and get on there. So even though it didn't materialize into a fight, I've been training the whole time, and I did a training camp in between. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not thinking about that at all. I'm just going to go out there and perform at my best. I'm better than I've ever been. This Chad definitely beats the previous ones that have stepped in the cage. So I'm on the right track.
Good stuff.
Nice.
Well, we certainly appreciate your time. Enjoy the week. Have fun on Saturday. That's the ultimate goal. I know we have your address. We're going to send you a care package from 8 Man Strong, as well as some stuff from Bucked Up Energy Drink as well.
Love it, guys. Awesome.
Appreciate your time. Have fun, Chad. Take care. Chad Anheliger back in the octagon. It has been a little bit of a layoff since his last fight, and it is the face-off is going to be cool, you know,
Yeah, for
different.
sure.
So it should be interesting. But you know, I just love listening to different fighters and their demeanor and what they're saying and how relaxed sometimes they sound. And you know, I talked about, you know, where fighters, you know, Marcus Jones as he's walking down, what am I doing? And even though that'll still happen on Saturday, it's still a fist fight.
Sure.
I like just the atmosphere of it is different. They're relaxed. It is 3 days out, and I can't wait to watch Chad and Jose on Saturday.
I agree.
Okay. They don't call you the best Coco host in the world for nothing. Let's hit a break.